everybody. So we are the Hallmarkies podcast, and we're really excited for this special bonus episode that we are doing. And I'm Rachel. Amber's not here for this one, but I thought it would be really fun to have this special podcast with my cousin, Anne Tuttle Brown. And we're going to be talking some Dressing Your Truth. It's very exciting. So Anne, why don't you, thanks for coming on our podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yes, I'm Anne Tuttle Brown, and I'm the daughter of Carol Tuttle, who is the creator of Dressing Your Truth. It's a program and energy profiling. And so you learn what personality type you are, type 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then once you learn that, you learn how to dress your truth, how to bring out your true beauty by what designs and patterns and colors you put on your body. So you have a really just cohesive look, and you can know who you are more fully and express that to the world.
And tell us a little bit about sort of the history of Dressing Your Truth and maybe how it's different from other personality systems, other these kind of systems.
Yeah, so there are a lot of personality profiling systems out there. Maybe you know the color code or the EMFT. I don't even know that one very well, but I think it's Myers-Briggs. It's human nature to want to kind of categorize things, and so, but this one is different in that it looks at the whole package, and so you're looking not only at your personality, but there's actually 5 categories. You're looking at your personality, which isn't the whole thing. You know, you have your behavior, your thinking patterns. You also have your body language and your facial features and how you move through life, just your natural movement. And so some personality traits can be trained. We can pick them up in our younger years or be different people around other, certain kinds of people. But this is really looking at how you move through life. And so you have type 1, which is a light and bright movement. It's very animated. It has a buoyant quality to it. Type 2, which I'm a type 2, it has a soft, fluid, flowing connection to it. They're more detail-oriented. Type 3 is an active, reactive, dynamic quality, edgy, push forward. And type 4, which you are, Rachel, is a black and white, represented beautifully in your top that you're wearing. Very analytical approach, very right or wrong, very intellectual, quality. Perfecting is your gift. Perfecting and seeing how things can be made better is a wonderful gift of type 4s.
Oh, thanks.
Do you relate to that?
Yes, very much. So it's funny. Do you find that most people struggle to figure out their types? Because for me, it was completely obvious. Like as soon as I was like, I'm a type 4. Obvious.
Yeah. And that's our hope, is that most people really see it in them. And so if you go to dressingyourtruth.com, we have a free course to learn your type and actually to dress your truth as well. So you just start with that process. We also have the book, It's Just My Nature. That's my mom, Carol Tuttle, on the front. And so you're just really looking at yourself. We don't have a quiz because we find that sometimes that puts you in a state of mind where you're answering the questions more how you think they should be answered. And so also the face profiling really helps. Rachel, if you look at your face, type 4s have the movement for type 4 is parallel lines and symmetry and ovals, and you can see how you have that half-shape oval in your eyebrows, you have a straight line through your smile, you have straight lines on the side of your face, you look really nice with your hair all pulled back, creating that sleek quality. A type 2, the movement is S-curves. I have an S-curve going down the side of my face, on my nose, on the side of the bridge of my nose and my eyebrows, and so you're looking at yourself in a way you've never looked at your face before, probably. And we have a lot of resources on our website to help anyone who might get stuck along the way.
So why do you think that how we dress matters? Do you think it's something that should just be like, it's just a superficial thing, or do you think it actually matters? Yeah.
Well, what we say is you have to get dressed every day. We don't have a choice in our society to whether or not you're going to put on clothes. Doing your hair is optional, putting on makeup is optional, but everyone has to put on clothes, right? If you're going outside. And so why not make the best choice and to have that be a representation of you? You're making choices with your clothing that you're buying and putting on every day. And it's fun. I think as women, we're meant to have fun with that part of our experience in life and enjoy just beautifying ourselves. And it definitely isn't vain. I find that this is because you're as a result, Dressing Your Truth you look better. We have amazing before and afters and makeovers that we've done on our site that you can go check out. But we also have a deeper understanding of who you are and the gifts that you have. And so that just comes automatically as you go through this program. And so as a result of what you're putting on your body, you're sharing with the world, like just a more clear signal of who you are and what people can expect.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Next question I had for you is, what do you think most people get wrong about fashion?
Their hair, probably. I think either coloring it wrong or not. I think that's where even once a woman goes through Dressing Your Truth, they kind of get to that a little bit later, because either it's tricky, you have to go see somebody to get your hair done in most cases, like you can do at-home treatments and things, but a lot of people are going outside to get their hair done. And so we have great resources with that. I mean, people are loving their hair more than ever. I have naturally curly hair, and in the course I teach you how to do your hair naturally curly. And we have women who go through that didn't even know they had an ounce of curl, to all of a sudden have a head full of curls and are loving their hair for the first time. Yeah. In addition, I would say people are wearing too much black. In the world of Dressing Your Truth, only type 4s wear black because it's a very still, grounding color, and type 4s have that energy. But in the fashion industry, it's been seen as a neutral, and everybody needs their black. But that, I think, is, for most women who go through Dressing Your Truth, very freeing in a way to be able to get rid of the black and add more color to their wardrobe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It can be a stressful experience shopping for a lot of people. And I think if you have some kind of guide to what you're trying to get, it can make it less stressful.
Oh yeah. We hear time and time again, like shopping's like fun and faster for the first time. Like because you look at something that maybe your friend wears or you see on a mannequin and you think, oh, I like that. You put it on and you're like, oh, and then you blame yourself because you don't look good in that piece, but it's really the clothing's fault or your choice that like isn't correct. And so you get to make correct choices, and then you see the results and you get excited and you just feel more successful.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I was wondering, in the world of entertainment, do you think that there are different kinds of entertainment that's more appealing to the different types?
Yeah, I think so. And probably like every type can, I think as far as like Hallmark goes, I was thinking like, why would the different types be drawn to Hallmark? It has a very light feel to it. It's most of the programs they create are family centered. And so it's really clean. And, but yeah, I think like someone watching a more intense program, either they're a type 3 who likes that intensity, or they're type 2 that doesn't have that intense experience in themselves, and so they like to seek it in other areas. Like my dad is a type 2. He loves big adventures. Your dad as well is a type 2. They often go on their big adventures together, mountain biking or four-wheeling. And then my mom, who's a type 3, she's not as drawn to that because it can become too intense because she's already experiencing that in herself.
Oh, that's interesting, because I always think of type 3 as very like earthy and rugged. Maybe that's wrong.
And type 3s love a physical connection to outdoors. And then it just like, you can be outdoors doing all sorts of things. Like my type 3 mom loves to hike, and play tennis, but she doesn't love roller coasters, but my type 3 daughter loves roller coasters. So I think you can see connections, but also like, this doesn't take away from you being an individual and having certain preferences of what you're drawn to.
Yeah. Like I love anything with the water. I don't know if that's typical with type 4s, but I just love being in the water, whether it's the ocean or even a pool. I don't even care. I just love that feeling of just being.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love water too.
Well, very cool. That's really neat. I've always loved like romantic comedies. I love Disney. I just love I just love the joy of it all. And so it's a lot of fun. And so what
Rachel, I think your secondary is type 1, right? So it has that lightness to it. And then you don't just do like a little bit of Disney. You're like all in that type 4, like black or white, all or nothing. Like I love Hallmark. I'm going to make a podcast. I'm going to analyze it and I'm going to talk about it. So
that's true.
So you can see that combination there.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I thought it would be fun just for the heck of it to talk about some of our favorite Hallmark leading ladies, and to talk about what kind of type that they are, and how we see that expression, whatever. And I don't know, we just thought it would be kind of enjoyable to do. So if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll be able to see I have a little PowerPoint thing that we're going to go through, and so I'm going to share that. But if you're just listening, you know who these people are. Person that you have to talk about for Hallmark is Candace Cameron Bure, the queen of Hallmark, as we like to say. She has of the top 5 Hallmark Christmas movies premieres as far as ratings. She has top 4 of them, which is pretty impressive. So, yeah. So what can you tell about Candace as far as her type?
Well, first looking at her, so just what we're looking for when we look at facial profiling is the same energy or the movement expressed. And so type 1s will have circles, star points, and very upward movement. Type 2s, like I mentioned before, will have S curves, a softened quality to their face. Type 3s is represented in angles and texture and in some substance in their features. And type 4 is parallel lines and symmetry. And so Candace is expressing angles. You can see her eyebrows have an arch. Her eyes are more deep set. She has more texture on her mouth. And then, so she's a type 3. You can also see in the face of her shape, the shape of her face, how her jaw comes to a more defined point. And then her secondary is a type 1. You can see a circle on the tip of her nose, a little bit of an apple cheek. And so she is a 3-1, which is the highest movement of all types. And so you have all 4 types in you. You always lead with the dominant, then you have your secondary, and those 2 together are the most important. And then like your 3rd and your 4th are there as well. But the 3-1 combination is a very high movement. It's a very outward expression. So like a very extrovert quality. And so we'll actually, as we go through this, we'll see that there are a lot of type 1s and type 3s, which are both the outward extrovert energy, which there tend to be more of that in the entertainment industry.
Interesting.
Because they're putting themselves out there.
Yeah, I knew there would be a lot of type 1s, but I'm surprised type 3 because I don't know. That just surprised me for some reason. So it's interesting. So there you go, Candace. Candace is an extremely hard worker, as she has, basically she does all the Hallmark jobs, Hallmark stuff that she does, including a series, Aurora Tea Garden, and does the Fuller House show, and does she's
is she a mom as well? She has
a mom. Yeah, she's pretty amazing writing books.
Yeah, type 3s are go big or go home. So she's on for it. She's making it work.
Yeah. So next we have Lacey Chabert. And I thought that she was a type 1 just because she's so bubbly and so cute. So it was interesting. That was my guess, because I don't know the facial stuff as well, really that well. So, but that was my guess going into it. But explain to me, talk about Lacey.
I'm going to go with type 1 on this one. I know that I had said type 3, but you know these ladies better. So she's maybe she's got some 3 in there as well. But she has the brightness in her eyes, the high forehead, the softened angle on her jawline, and the fuller lips. You can see that they create kind of a heart-shaped quality there. So type 1 or any animated shape. So hearts, circles, stars, and then the type 3, she's got a little more substance in her nose, which that type 3 quality is substance. And you can see the deeper kind of cat eye quality there. Yeah. Does that seem right to you?
It does. I mean, I'm not the expert, but yeah, she's so cute. That if you watch a Lacey Chabert movie, that you're in for something really adorable and really sweet. So she's great. Okay, next we have Danica McKellar, and she was, to me, obviously a type 1 because she's just the cutest thing ever. So you agree? Yes. Yeah, well, you can see what she like has a similar look to Lacey in that like she has like the soft star points on her nose. You can see also in her chin she has a little dimple. And then she has the higher forehead, which a higher forehead puts the facial features more in the center of the face.
which
Uh-huh.
creates an animated quality. And also like you could draw a heart around the features there.
Mm-hmm.
And it can create the forehead has a little bit of a rounded quality that creates an animated kind of
Uh-huh.
circular quality as well.
And what we didn't really talk about, so like if you're type 1, what kind of, just like a few kind of color suggestion things that, how would you recommend that they tend to dress?
So you're just matching that same movement. So type 1s are light, bright, animated. So you're going to go with light, bright colors, animated
Mm-hmm.
patterns. And so dressingyourtruth.com, you can go through all the information for free. You can learn how to dress your truth right there. And then you can get a style kit that will give you I actually have one here. This is the style kit that you can purchase after you've gone through the course, and it gives you a color card. So these are all the type 1 colors. They're bright animated tints. This is the pattern guide for type 1. So you can see they get to wear watermelons and polka dots and florals and flowers, and really fun. And then we also have a little tiny one that you can take for convenience with shopping. So you get one for every type, and it just makes shopping so much easier. After you've learned the information, you can just, these are now your little cheat sheets to take with you.
Cool. That's really cool. Okay. So Erin Krakow, I thought that she was a type 2 because her character on One Calls the Heart is very elegant and soft and kind. And so I think that was why I went there, because she's from the turn of the century and she's a school teacher, and she's just very, very soft, and I don't know. So, but tell us about what you see in Erin Krakow.
So I see type 1 with a secondary 2. So there can be in every type there, like your secondary can definitely have an influence. And so a type 1 with a secondary 2 is a very light, soft quality to it. And you can see where I see the type 1 is all of her facial features are more in the center of her face. And she has very like a crisp quality to her facial features. You can see the circles in her nostril, the circle on the tip of her nose. If you were to underline her lip and then go around her eyebrows and up and down again, you have a heart shape there. She has a very clear quality to her skin, very youthful quality. That's another feature of type 1s, is very youthful. And then you can see that little bit of softening as well, which is the type 2, kind of in her eyes and around her mouth, creating those softened lines. But I saw like more a brightness and a youthful quality leading.
Yeah. Interesting. That's really interesting. Do you think it's challenging for actors, that they have to play all these different play against type, I guess?
No, I think type 1s would have a lot of fun with that, because a type 1, a gift and a challenge are the same as their adaptability. And so type 1s can adapt to roles. And if they're doing that for fun, then I think they can excel at that. If they're adapting in life to like a parent that's too dominating, then that can be detrimental. But if they're having fun with it, I think they can be some of the greatest actors.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so Catherine Bell, she is the Good Witch on the show, The Good Witch. And I thought that she was type 4 just because she seems so striking and stunning to me. That's why I thought.
Right. If you look at her smile, she's hardly smiling here, just a half smile, but you can see there's already some texture next to her mouth. And so that's a key indicator of the type 3. You can also see she has, her eyes are set at an angle, and so they point downward, which creates a V there, very cat eye quality. And her eyebrows have that arch in them. So she's probably a type 3 with a secondary 4, because she does have a striking quality where her features are a little bit more symmetrical, which she leads with that exotic quality.
So what kind of clothes would you recommend for a type 3?
So type 3, they wear a lot of texture, a lot of, this is the color palette, more earthy. Show you some leopard print or classic animal print is a great go-to for type 3s. Aztec prints, or just anything with a lot of texture and earth to it looks really good.
Yeah. Cool. That's really neat. So Catherine Bell. Next, we have Holly Robinson Peete.
Now, I remember her from The Apprentice. Because confession, I don't watch a lot of Hallmark, but maybe I will. But I remember her from The Apprentice with Donald Trump, and she was a go-getter. She just had some fire to her, which is a type 3 quality that they'll just get in, they'll get the job done. they can also, it can be a gift that they push forward. And it can also be a challenge that they will bulldoze people while they're at it. It's like kind of a balance there.
Yeah. You really see that in her life, because her son they just had a reality show actually on Hallmark called Meet the Pete's, about one of those follow around reality shows. And her son was diagnosed with pretty bad autism. He wasn't even speaking for a long time. And she has started this foundation and just done amazing things. So she's definitely, I think, and he's like thriving as a
Great.
in his 20s.
Type 3, it can be that very like business minded entrepreneur spirit where they're just gonna go for it and make things happen.
Interesting. Cool. All right, Jen Lilly. She's on she's one of our favorites. So one of our favorite interviews we've ever done was with Jen Lilly. And
that's so fun.
Yeah, and her Hallmark movies are stellar. They're all great. And she's a veteran from Days of Our Lives. She's a soap opera darling, and she's just super sweet and cute. And she was obvious to me at type 1.
Yeah, you can see and what did I mention a secondary for her?
I can't remember.
I see probably some 4. You can see. Anyways, let's point out the type 1 first. You can see just a really big, bright smile. Yeah. She's got the apple cheeks. Everything moves upward, those bright, shining eyes. And her nose, it looks like she's got a circle on the tip of her nose. If she were to turn sideways, you may even see that it kind of slopes upward. And then I would say probably type 4, you can see the boldness in her eyebrows creates a little bit of a straight line, and the straight lines on the side of her nose as well.
Interesting. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on. Here we go. Okay. So next we have Kelly Martin, who is one of the queens of Hallmark. She's just done a miniseries, 3 more entries in her detective show called Haley Dean, and she's been in a ton of movies. She's just super fun. And so what do you see in Kelly?
If you look at her, she first of all has compared her to Jen Lilly. You can see Jen Lilly had a brightness and like an outward movement, and Kelly Martin has a quality that draws you inward. And so she has a softened movement. She's a type 2. You can see how her eyebrows are closer to her eyes, creates a downward connected quality. The lines around her mouth create S-curves. Her nose creates a teardrop. And she just has this really kind of milky quality to her skin, very soft, softened, kind of all blends together. And so we don't see a lot of type 2s out in the entertainment world. Most of the type 2s are behind the scenes. They're going to be directing, they'll be editing, they'll be on lights, they'll be on cameras. You go to a film set, and 90% of those people are going to be type 2s. It's crazy. And it's interesting because the type 2 is that background move. Like a lot of type 2s don't love to be in the spotlight. They want to be in the background, and they are getting the details. And so their gift is to tweak and to tinker with all that equipment to get things to be really nice. And so that it's fun to see a type 2 here, because we've had just 1s and 3s so far.
Right. Yeah. And what clothing in general would you recommend for someone who's a type 2?
So a lot of what most people do, actually. The type 2 is easy to find in the fashion industry. There are the more muted colors, but if a woman who's not a type 2 wears these, she will look frumpy. She will gray will be added into your face, and it will make you look older. And so as a type 2, these look great. If you're not a type 2, you don't want to wear these. And then the patterns would be, these are blended, connected, softened, just has that really nice subtle quality to it. I'm a type 2, and I love these patterns and colors on me.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, I'm like, when I see it, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah. No offense taken. You'll feel that. Like women who are like, we've had some amazing stories where women have been sick with, chronic fatigue for 8 years. They learn they're a type 3, start dressing it, and they have more energy than they ever had in their life. Like, because it's just amazing, like what you surround yourself with, and like putting that on your body, you're just going to feel like, if it's not who you are,
Right. It's interesting. Okay. And then we have Megan Ori, who is from Chesapeake Shores, or that I tried to get somebody from all of the major television shows for Hallmark. And Megan Ori plays the lead in Chesapeake Shores. And what can you see in Megan Ori?
Well, if you look at her, you can see, first of all, very stunning quality. And she is a type 4. And so just compared to some of the type 1s we looked at, where I said their features were placed more in the center of their face, look how her features are spread out so symmetrically. Just rather than being kind of closer together in the middle, it creates like just thirds, right? Her eyes and her eye, you can draw a straight line from one eye to the other. Her nose, like you could draw a straight line there, and the top of her mouth, even the bottom of her chin has a straight line. The sides of her face have a straight line. She has defined cheekbones, which creates another straight line. And down the sides of her nose has a straight line. Her nostrils create a perfect oval. A ton of symmetry. Often type 4s have high contrast, like you do, Rachel, with the lighter skin with the darker hair, but that's not the case 100%. We see redheads in all types, blondes in all types. So, but you can see that she looks really nice in that high contrast and with the white. So true to type 4s, they're going to wear those high contrast, bold colors. Let my type 4 one go. There we go. Black and white, they're the only type that can wear black and look amazing in it. All those other bold colors. And the patterns are as well those high contrast, very defined, sleek patterns.
Yeah.
And to your point, Rachel, if I put these on, I would feel really yucky myself. So you can wear the 4 and I'll wear the 2.
Yeah, right. All right. I think we're almost done. So we have Andie MacDowell. She's in another show that's not on anymore, but she's called Cedar Cove, and she's certainly a queen of Hallmark. So what do you see in Andie?
Well, just comparing her to the last gal, you can see she has a lot more movement in her face. You know, she's probably a little bit older as well, but when she smiles, she gets lines around her mouth, and that doesn't always come with age. You know, that can just be part of your type. And she's got angles in her face. She's got a high forehead. She's got a lot going on. And so she's a type 1. Look at her, the height in her forehead and also the way her hair lands. It creates the top of a heart. She's got a soft star point in her nose, on the sides of her mouth, and she just has a very animated quality. And I love her pictures where her hair is really curly and bouncy. The more movement when she tries to like smooth it out, and then it just gets too still for her. And also, you see any picture where she's smiling, and it makes me want to smile. She just has a very contagious, happy quality about her.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's it. We did everybody. Record. You saw a picture of our co-host Amber, who couldn't be here. And what did you think, at least from the picture?
Facebook page. I looked at her face, and then I went on her Facebook page, and it solidified it.
Okay.
So once you pull that up, but I saw, okay, she's a 3 or a 1 because I saw some of the angles and the movement. And then I went to her Facebook page, and I saw that there were a lot of like funny things she posted. She posted a really funny video about someone trying to parallel park and took them like 20 minutes. She posted a book where you can learn how to talk to your plants. And so just a lot of really like lighthearted, funny things. And I was like, which type would do that? That's a type 1.
Yeah.
So, do you agree with that assessment? I don't know her personally, but
right. No, I can see it. I can totally see it for sure. She I think makes it her goal in life is to make me laugh on the podcast. So.
And that is what type 1s love, to put a smile on people's faces. They love to lighten the mood. And so whether that's through a joke or just, connecting with someone, that's a great gift that type 1s have.
Yeah. Very fun. Very fun. That's really cool. It's so interesting. I thought I was pretty sure that I figured if you were going to type Hallmark, aside from maybe When Calls to the Heart, it's a type 1 network.
Yeah. So I think that 1 and that 2, and maybe that's why there's so many type 3s in it, because they like that. I bet because they are producing so much, I bet it moves really fast, the way that they produce. And so type 3s, we saw so many type 3 actresses that were involved in that. I bet they really are drawn to that it's fast, it's a quick turnaround. They probably have to keep up with the pace or they, so that's interesting.
Last year, for Countdown to Christmas, there was a movie filming in Salt Lake at the end of November that aired in the middle of December.
Wow.
Really, it's pretty amazing.
That's
Most
awesome.
of these movies are filmed in 10 to 14
Wow.
days, basically 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe if you're a lead. And there's the Hallmark Hall of Fame, which is the ones that are sort of, they try to be feature film budgets. It usually just means they get A-listers, like this last one they had well, not this last one, but the one at Christmas they had Joan Cusack and Danny Glover and Dermot Mulroney. Anyway, and so that's like the prestige one, but the rest of them they do put them out pretty quickly. But I would say, everybody's really quick to just discount them because there are, of course, a lot of bad movies, but you don't make nearly 100 movies a year and not make some that are pretty decent. And so that's what we try to do on the podcast, is weed through the bad and the good and just have fun, whether it's bad or good. Sometimes bad ones can be the most fun to talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we just enjoy having a creative outlet and something fun to work on.
Well, it's keeping you busy. You got to watch all those shows with the
yes
they're putting out.
I know, it's so funny because there's so many television shows now. It's overwhelming. I mean, every network is trying to get their own original content, and I feel like almost every day someone's like, "You have to watch the show; it's so great." I'm like,
add it to my list.
Right. But it is funny because I end up watching shows because they're Hallmark that I'm not in love with, but it's just kind of part of the job now at this point. But it's really fun, and I like being kind of a completionist in things. I like I don't know. I just like saying that. I like being able to. I've watched all of Countdown for Christmas, can really say, look at the whole scope of everything.
Yeah, well, that's your type 4, that all, and also having that big picture and being it would feel unfinished for you to not finish a book because you didn't like it. You'd probably I have to get through this.
Yes, it has to be so bad for me to DNF it. It has to be really bad. I was at book club the other day, and one of my friends was telling me that she just stops blogging and then will start up a new blog. And I'm just physically that would makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, how can you just stop and then start a new one and then just get rid of all that work that you did? You worked so hard, don't delete it. No. And for her, it's oh, it's so refreshing. I guess. Can't do it.
Well, your friend was probably type 1.
Yeah. Oh, she was.
The type 1, they like the newness of things, and so start something new. Just have something new.
You're giving me anxiety, but anyway, it's a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you coming on to do this.
Thank you. That was fun.
It was really fun.
And so check out go to dressingyourtruth.com. You can find out what type you are, and you can start dressing it.
Yeah. And are you on social? Do you have social media at all, or?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook primarily. So you can follow Anne Tuttle Brown. It's just my personal account, or Carol Tuttle if you are interested in dressing your truth, energy profiling. That's the page to just get more updates and follow along. So on Instagram as well, either one.
And anybody can do it. You don't have to be here in Utah.
No, it's all online, and just back in November we made it all free, and so you can go through and learn your type and dressing your truth. Like I said, the style kit, these handy tools, they are available for you to support you in your process. So go check it out, share it with your friends. It's a really fun program to do with friends.
And men can do it too as well.
Yeah, right? We have a DYT for men as well. Yeah. And we also have a book called The Child Whisperer, and some people are more familiar with that, and it talks about the 4 types in regards to children. And so we have a podcast, the Child Whisperer podcast, where we give a parenting practice every week where you can just learn how to parent your kids true to their types. We're kind of covering it all here.
And you have different types of your kids, right?
Oh yeah, I've got 3 kids. 2 are type 3s and 1 is a type 2. My husband's a type 3, so we're all 3s and 2s. We haven't broken the mold yet. I guess God knew I knew those types pretty well. It's like a good place to start.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, great. I'll have links for all that in the description section. You can check it out.
Thanks.
And thanks again. I really appreciate coming on and talking with us. Yep. And yeah, let us know if you start watching some Hallmark. Let us know what you think.
Any recommendation of where to start?
Yeah, well, we love the 9 Lives of Christmas is one of the best ones. If you don't want to watch Christmas, because Christmas in July is coming up.
Oh, so, fun.
Yes. So there's going to be a ton. And we are doing this week on our podcast, we are going to have a Christmas in July preview with some of our favorites. And I really like anything with Jen Lilly. Like I said, she was in a great one last year called The Dash of Love, which was so great.
All right, and to start with.
Yeah. Dash of Love and Eat Play. She was in 3 last year that were stellar. They were really well done, I think. And there was one really cute last year at Christmas called Miss Christmas. That was very, we didn't have Brooke Dorsey on the thing, but she's definitely type 1. She's super, super adorable. And that was very well executed. If you want something with a little more emotion, there was one that's great called Home for Christmas Day. That is about a young high schooler who falls in love with a soldier, and it was really good. Catherine Bell is in it, who we profiled as her mom. So that's one I'd recommend. And I really like one called Trading Christmas, which is kind of like The Holiday. I don't know if you've ever seen The Holiday with Kate Winslet. It's kind of like that, but I think a little better. In my opinion. So anyway, those are some recommendations, but there's lots of good ones. There really are. So anyway, let us know what you think when you dive in.
Thank you.
You get hooked, just like us. So great. Well, thanks so much. And you guys, so we are going to have this week our Christmas in July preview on Wednesday, and then we have our Good Witch podcast on Thursday. So make sure you're looking forward to that. And then this weekend we have a Jen Lilly movie this weekend, which is very exciting. So if you want to get introduced to Jen Lilly, she has one this weekend premiering called Yes, I Do, which looks so good because it stars her and this guy, Marcus Rosner, who we've also interviewed and was the best. But Marcus Rosner always plays this guy who gets rejected. He's always the wrong guy in all these Hallmark movies. And it's really funny because in this movie, she, I guess, leaves him at the altar or like rejects him 3 times. And then finally now they're going to get married or whatever. And so it's kind of funny because that's what he's known for in Hallmark. So we'll see. This is him actually going to be a leading man, which is pretty exciting. And so it should be a really fun one. And the director, Christopher Wolf, is the best. She makes really great films. So this one should be a good one. Cross fingers. And then we have the finale for The Good Witch on Sunday, which is very exciting. And so there you go. Lots of good stuff happening on the Hallmark Channel and on our podcast this week. And so check it out. Make sure you're following us on social media at Hallmarkies Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We try to post every single day. And let us know what you think in the comment section or on Twitter. Let us know what you think about all this. And if you have any experiences, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. And also make sure if you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. Smiling LDS Girl is my social media. And Amber is at Amber Brainwaves. So check that out as well. And thanks again so much, Anne. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, we will talk to you soon. Bye.